This is a pretty extraordinary ancient space. This is St Paul's Church in Jarrow, not far from Newcastle. And it is the remains of a 7th century monastery which once stood here. Now, this was the monastery where the famous scholar, the Venerable Bede, spent his life, where he wrote his famous works and earned the title of the Father of English History. Now, many of the monastery buildings, such as the scriptorium where Bede worked, no longer survive. But incredibly, this chapel does. This was built in the 680s. Much of the stone was taken from old Roman ruins, perhaps Hadrian's Wall, and we have the original dedication stone from the year 685. We also have this wonderful circular window which has been filled in with some of the original glass that was found on the site. But how extraordinary that all those years ago in the 7th century, the Venerable Bede was here. He arrived in his teenage years. He would have worshipped and sung here. He would have seen that dedication stone, and his face would have been illuminated by light coming through the very same glass as mine is today. I love to think that he could have been standing on this very spot as I am right now. And what's more, this space for 1,400 or so years has been used for the same purpose and is still used for worship today. Now, I have written all about Bede's young life as a child, as a teenager, what he was like as an 18-year-old working away in the scriptorium in my new book, 18, A History of Britain in 18 Young Lives. And one of the most dramatic events which Bede endured in his teenage years was that the plague struck the monastery. And everybody, apart from Bede and the abbot, perished, which is a pretty extraordinary thing to go through as a young man. And here's a little extract about that terrible year. In Bede's monastery, everyone who could read, preach, or say the antiphons and responsories were snatched away. Only 2 survived, the abbot himself and a lad who had been brought up and educated by him. This lad, it's believed, was Bede. In those final months of plague, as the last of their brethren succumbed, Bede and the abbot continued their duties. They stood in the choir of the church to sing psalms, the deep boom of the man's grown voice alternating with the quivering high notes of the boy. Yet there was no congregation to hear it, no clergy to nod along. Why am I still here? Why me? Bede must have wondered. Had he been chosen by God? And who would be next? If the abbot perished, Bede would be alone. Then, if Bede died, as the very last, would his body be left unburied, his flesh ripped from his bones by scavenging beasts, his eyes pecked to their sockets by wild birds? Now, that's quite a dramatic extract, but it does give you a sense of the terrors that Bede endured as a teenage boy. And what kind of man would that make you at 18 years old? All of these questions I explore in the book. It's been wonderful to write. I really hope you're going to enjoy it. You can pre-order your copy now. There's signed copies available. The links are in my bio. And I really hope you enjoy it, and I hope it inspires you to come and visit such extraordinary places as this church, St Paul's in Jarrow.